Popular video game streamer Sketch has responded to the leaked information, videos, pictures that came out about him. Very tearful, very emotional. Let's talk about it. Before we go any further, though, if you are a kid watching this, go talk to your parents. Maybe let your parents watch this video first, and then see if maybe it's okay with you watching it too. If you are a parent, just know there's going to be some adult stuff that's talked about. I'll be really delicate with my language, but it's a really adult conversation that's going to happen. If you don't know who Sketch is, he is like one of the most popular video game streamers out there right now. He's kind of new. I haven't really watched him stream video games. I've seen clips of him online a lot. I mean, the last year or two, he's become super famous. A lot of people love him. I've seen him on other podcasts, and I even want to show you a clip from a podcast I saw him on. But basically, he's like a 21-year-old video game streamer, super young, but again, just recently got super famous streaming video games and lifestyle vlogging and things like that. And just recently, there were some leaked pictures and videos that have confirmed to be him back when he used to, before he was famous, basically do adult, intimate content. And I also want to show you another clip of him talking to Theo Von about how his life has changed. And he actually gets tearful there. And it really speaks now to me so much more than what it did when I first saw it, because he's thinking about the horrible things that he has been brought out of in his life, and he attributes that to God. And it was adult, intimate content with another man or other men, whatever it was. And so obviously this was super shocking, and he finally spoke out about it. I want to show you what he has to say, and then kind of unpack how horrible this situation is, and really what this means for the world and for you and for me.
Wasn't planning on doing this today, but I guess so. Okay, I'll start from the top.
And just so you know, he's a really awkward guy, super anxious, has a lot of tics and things like that. So if you see him kind of be a little weird, a little maybe like he's not taking it seriously, he is. It's just the way he is. This is the way he is basically all the time.
Look at this, open and honest. That was me. That was me. It's okay, though. I will tell you what. Okay. 2 years ago, I did some stuff. I'm sorry if you've seen some of the stuff. You know, I'm a changed person. This is going worse than I thought it was. Okay, I was dealing with some addiction problems. A couple of them. But no excuse there. What, I guess.
So you notice that he said he was dealing with some addiction problems, a couple of different addictions. He doesn't say what they are, but that's what led into it, and he's moved past that in his life.
Yeah, that was me. I f***ed up. I won't do it again. I'm just kidding. Well, I am dead serious about not doing it again. That was a dark time. Rough time. You know, I'm owning up to it. But on a real note, I've been living under the threat of that coming out for like 2 years. Started social media, just kind of around. Had that in my past. I'll tell you what, weight lifted off my shoulders. God is good. God is good.
That's another reason I wanted to focus on this, is he does attribute his life today to God. Which is really amazing. But you notice that he'd been living under the threat of that coming out for a couple years now. And so once he becomes famous, he has this thing that he did. And man, this is such a testament to how much the world has changed, that young people today have such a major digital footprint. I mean, even just in comparison from my generation to his generation, he's like, again, like 21 years old. We're only like 7 or 8 years different in age. I'm older than him. And it's crazy how much more of a digital footprint kids have who grew up from the very beginning with social media, whereas I came into social media a little bit later in my life. It's so scary to think about these kids who are growing up exposed to all this stuff in the world, and then they go out and they do that, they participate in that, they publicize that online, and then when they finally get old enough and wiser and try to make good decisions for their lives, that stuff is still hanging over them like this cloud. If they get famous overnight, kind of like he did, he has to live knowing that stuff is probably going to come out. Now, you might say, yeah, well, he made the bad decision, and that's true. He did make the bad decision, but also he was an 18-year-old so influential influenced by the world making that bad decision. And so you think about the permanence of decisions that kids make today. It really is unprecedented in a lot of ways. They are making permanent decisions that are going to alter their lives for the future. There are kids that have done stuff in high school, that have done stuff in middle school that gets them fired at their job like 20, 30 years later. It's a scary, scary time to be living in. Now he's going to talk about the emotional impact that this had and how much this has disturbed him.
All the time. But weight off my shoulders, to be honest. You have some stuff in the closet, no pun intended there, but yeah, it came out. I mean, I tell you what, I was going and doing all this different stuff. I was going in the back of my mind, holy shit. And guess what? Holy shit, last night. And I have a lot of people to credit for, I'll be honest, plan A was, and I will say candidly, was to probably probably to call it quits if this ever came out. But some people say...
You can kind of tell what he's referring to, by the way.
Me.
Some people saved him, he says.
Shout out Banks. Shout out my parents. Like, shout out y'all. Like, I fucked up, but I'm changed. Yeah, that's about it, though. Like, my original plan was, there's two things. One, either be delusional and think it's never going to come out, or two, what's the plan after? The plan after was not very good. If I was alone and I was at my house, I probably wouldn't be talking to you right now. But the people at FaZe, Banks, especially, and my friends that I've made over the past couple years came in and they saved me.
You notice that, man. He's so serious about this. Again, he's being lighthearted sometimes because he's awkward. That's just how he is. But this so seriously affects him. I can't even imagine how horrible something like that would be, having such a scary digital footprint like that can come out at any time, and you're rich and you're famous and you have to live under the terror of that coming out every single day, and it finally does. And it really, honestly, I would say he's by addressing it like this, he's being so incredibly brave about it. And I love, again, that he credits the change in his life from these addictions and doing that terrible stuff that he did to God. And he says, God is good all the time. So here he is, not that long ago, just 2 months ago, on Theo Von's podcast, talking about how much his life changed after he started praying to God. And notice the emotion. And again, now knowing this, what he was worried about for so long, it's no wonder he's so tearful about how much his life has changed.
There was a time last year and I just had a prayer where I was like, I want to be happy, I want to travel, and I want to meet people. And God answered me like crazy. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Wow. And you really were praying that?
Yeah. No, he humbled me for sure.
Wow, man. That's powerful, huh?
Yeah, no. Power in prayer.
Yeah.
You see that? So he's thinking about how much God changed his life. That's what he says, that God changed his life. And he starts to cry. And when I first saw that, I thought, well, that's kind of sweet. He's crying because he used to not have that many friends and maybe didn't have a lot of purpose in his life. And that's fine, but he was actually crying because not only was he lacking some kind of a purpose, he was actively downward spiraling and doing these horrible things that today he regrets and living that kind of a life. And he goes, I started praying to God and look at how much my life changed. And he says, even talks about the power of prayer. Man, it's a testament to the importance of kids understanding, young people understanding the world that we're living in today is so scary, so incredibly dangerous in unprecedented ways. You have so many ways that you can destroy your life like never before, like nobody for all of human history has been able to do. But even with all of that in mind, as painful as it would be, and as painful as it is for Sketch in the process of this, there are still ways to recover in your life. There are still ways to come out of these addictions. There are still ways to fix these things and to live a great life. But as Sketch is trying to do, and I would recommend this for you too. I would really urge you to do this. Choose God as that path. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to be a downward spiral. When God became a priority in Sketch's life, look at how much things got better. And I hope he continues to seek God. I hope he continues to take that seriously. Things will only get better from here. But let me know what you think. What do you think about his reaction to it, his response to it? I mean, he really, he apologizes, and I appreciate the apology in the sense that he is an influence over young people. But at the same time, I'm so glad of the fact that he says that was horrible. Addictions led to that. That life is not normal, and that should be acknowledged too. But even though it's not normal and it's so damaging, you can come out of that and you can be okay on the other side with the power of God in your life. Let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, consider supporting on Patreon. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.